Hey everybody, how's it going? Superfiend here, and welcome back to Whacky World. So we have spent the last few episodes bringing this area of the park up to snuff, making it look good. And we kind of had a dilemma in the last episode, and that was, what are we going to do with the monorail? Is the monorail going to come as a straight shot, like through a mountain here, and connect up with this piece of the monorail track? Or is it going to veer out of the way and come by this pyramid that we have over here? Now, in thinking about this a little bit more, I've decided I want to try at least first, and this is the first way we're going to build it, that the monorail is going to come through the mountain and go between the paths. And the reason we're going to do that is because the monorail is going to be going pretty fast, okay? So if the monorail is going really fast and it's zooming through here, nobody's going to have time on the monorail to appreciate the scenery here. The other reason is from down here, having the monorail track go up and across here, that now blocks this wonderful scenery that we've built for 2 episodes from the pathway. And so taking those two things together, I think it's going to be better if the monorail just kind of comes through the middle here, and the people on this path are going to have a good view of the gardens, and the people on this path are going to have a good view of the pyramid and the other scenery up here. So that's what we're going to do this episode. We're going to connect the monorail station. We're going to fix these paths. And then we're probably going to decorate a little bit more over here and a little bit on the ground. And I think I want to start laying down just a little bit of the foliage to see if we can get a convincing jungle in here, make it look like a jungle. And I want to do that in like small building pieces so I can just duplicate them and drag them around everywhere. And then as we need to make room for buildings or shops or whatever, we just click on like one bush piece and it selects like a nice little circle of bushes and trees, and we could just, you know, take the whole things in and out as chunks is how I think I want to put that together. So first things first, monorail station. Monorail. All right, we need to make this a little bit bigger. Okay. And the monorail is going to come through a mountain. That's what we're going to do. I think that'll look neat. So we're just going to close this up just a little bit, or not through a mountain, through a tunnel. I don't know my words anymore. Okay, let's see here. And I think we're going to come through on this side. So we're going to start over here because that's where we have a better view of exactly what the paths are doing. So I think, let's see. I think we can build the monorail track over the existing paths, and it just won't have any supports. Let's see, come on. Okay, so the other track, we want to shoot like straight through here, right? And let's turn angle snap back on. So I guess we'll do 11.5, and then go back the other way, and then now we'll straighten it out. And let's see. Just tunnel it for me, why don't you? Okay, so it's unhappy about that. So maybe what we need to do is maybe we just need to bring the terrain down a little bit. Let's see. Let's try flatten to foundation. There's that crazy camera again. Okay, and let's just flatten this out like this, right? And then we'll see if we can... Whoa, it jumped way over there. So now the terrain over there is all screwed up. That's all right. Thank you, supersonic camera. Camera in this game sometimes is aggravating, to say the least. Okay. Now let's see. Are we going to be able to... We're going to be able to get an adequate tunnel through here with the monorail? Probably not until we get this all the same height, right? And it would probably also be a good idea to put a person over here and just kind of see like, the camera sometimes just like shoots off so far. All right, come on. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. Okay, well, I guess that's pretty good for right now. Let's put a ticket booth in here. Where is it? Shops and facilities, customs, ticket booth. Okay, so the people, this is just going to help us figure out, like, you know, how much room are we leaving for the little critters to go back and forth through here. I'm going to call them critters. Okay, let's see. Remember that movie Critters? Was that the one with the little spiky guys that rolled into a big ball? That was so terrifying when I was little. And now the whole idea of it is just silly. Oh, come on, make a tunnel for me. Why does it want to make a tunnel? Game. Come on. Okay, let's go back in here. I guess we're gonna have to make this a little bit lower because it's very cranky when I try to tunnel through it. So let's just go across. Let's go backwards and go across. See if we can get this. Now, if I have to, I will, I guess, elevate the monorail a little bit. I didn't want to. I want to keep it flat through the whole park. I don't really want to do elevation changes with the monorail, but because we got a nice track over here, that lets us know exactly how tall it needs to be. We could do that if we wanted to. Let's see if this will let us get through here. You son of a gun. All right. Back in we go. Let's start from this side, okay? Let's you know, how low do we have to go to be able to do this, right? Now, okay, now we can't even get the path. Is it because of the paths? Is that the problem? All right, you know what? Forget it. We're going to elevate the monorail station. It's just going to be the easier way to do this, right? So let's see. We're going to probably got to delete this piece, right? Probably need to delete that piece. So not only are we going, what is this? 11 degrees. We can only go up by 8, right? So we're going to go up by 8, straighten this out, up by another 8. What is the deal? Make a tunnel. What is the problem here? Okay. Why is the monorail different than everything? Can you just not do it with the monorail? Okay, let's disable the terrain collision. Okie dokie. Resume. Don't want to accidentally quit the game. Why can't I make a tunnel with the monorail? What do I have to do to make a tunnel with this thing? All right. Let's get all this out of the way. Oops, not that much. Oh boy. Just when you think you got it all figured out, right? And now I can't get rid of that because of the path. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Flatten the terrain again. Put the path. Actually, you know what? Let's just take the paths out because they could be screwing with the monorail. We don't want that to be part of the problem. Okay. Let's try this again. Let's add a piece. Okay, good. Good. All right, a straight shot through there. We're coming out on this side. And then we need to go down 2 elevation changes. Okay? 1, 2. And then back to there. And then we need to delete this. No. Okay, 1, 2. Yes. Okay, now we need to delete this. Okay. Whoa, no, undo that. Okay, stop. Cancel. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. Let's go back to this. A little bit shorter. Okay, what is that? 13? 13 points us almost straight at it, right? Good grief. The monorail is one of the biggest pains in the butt to lay down track for, because it just doesn't have high degrees of movement, which makes sense, you know, it's not a roller coaster, but it's just a pain in the neck. All right. Now let's see what happens here. Okay, yes, of course. Now because we have the collision turned off. So let's go back in here and let's get the collision back. Wrong way. Okay, come on. Tunnel around it. I don't know why it couldn't auto tunnel through this before. I don't know what the problem was. I don't know if it was because of the what are they called? The paths underneath it. I don't know. Very finicky sometimes, this game. All right. So that looks good. And I think the tunnel's a little too wide on that side. It goes a little bit too far into the game, or into that terrain. Shoot, I made a hill over here. Let's see. But we still got a lot of room in here for the people to walk through, so that's good. Okay. We haven't screwed the park up too bad yet. And let's see, let's just fill this in. Close it all up down here. And we'll do flatten, make it a little, that's too big. Okay, I think that's, you know, that's reasonable. What is this because of the little person here? Can we click on the person and just like move them? Terrain, push. Boop. There we go. Flatten to foundation. So big. All right. So I think that works, right? That looks okay. And the monorail cruises through here. I feel like we need to roughen up in here a little bit. So we'll turn it way down. Okay, get the intensity a little higher than that. All right, and let's just see if we can get any sort of texture or anything inside this mountain, this tunnel. Because it's just so perfect. Maybe if we do just a little bit of pushing. Let's see, increase the intensity. This is actually working a little bit better than the roughen tool. All right, there we go. Come on. The ceiling. Although I don't imagine anyone inside the monorail is going to get a good look at the ceiling, but Okay, now that we've pushed it away from the track, let's see if roughen... yeah, now roughen kind of does a little bit more. Okay, not much. Not much. A little bit better. Okay. I think we need to push over here. Let's see. Roughen. All right. Look at us. We are such pros. Now let's push this a little bit so we can get some actual deformation out of the roughen tool over here on the edge of the tunnel. And here we go. Yeah, okay. Oops. Okay, I think I just dug a hole. Go ahead and clean that up a little bit. Okay, we're going to leave the rest of it just like that. Because really the only people that are ever going to know what that looks like is the monorail driver. Okay, come on, camera. Get it together here. Okay. So I think that looks pretty good. I think it comes a little bit too far in on this side. So I want to push it back a little bit. Let's see. We want to push. Okay. And the reason I want to push it back just a little bit, I do think the monorail comes this way, is I do want to give people on the monorail a chance to actually look out the window and see what's over here. And so if they're shooting out of the cave, like directly in line with it, they'll never have the chance to see what's over there. And of course, you know, they're not even real people, so who cares what they see anyways, but I'm going to ride the monorail. I'm going to look at it. And if you're watching that episode, you will be looking at it too. So we do care, don't we? All right. Now, I don't like... Let's see, let's roughen this up. Okay, looking good in there. Whoops, wrong button. Okay, that looks pretty good. And let's jump over to the other side. Okay, I don't think it needs to be quite this wide over here either. So let's go back to the terrain tool. Let's get the big brush. And let's, okay, no, I don't want to do flatten. I don't want to do flatten. That'll take away the nice tunnel that we made. But I do want to just push this back in just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I got an idea. All right, so I think that's pretty good. Let's roughen over here. There we go. This is looking neat. Now, over here, I kind of don't want this to be visible from over here, so I feel like we need to continue this terrain, this hill. So let's do that. And we probably don't have to do it very much, right? Now, you know what's really cool? I was thinking about this, and in my head when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about it over here. But maybe we'll do it over here. I don't know. On this side, it could be you know, like a rainforest type thing. Lots of, like a jungle, lots of foliage and tropical looking trees. And on this side, like over here, if we did it right, you could decorate this with like snow caps. And on one side, you wouldn't be able to see the snow caps. On the other side, you wouldn't be able to see the more temperate climate area. And you could have like a little Santa's village, or, you know, use the festive scenery over here with the teacups and stuff. But I am fairly certain that this is going to be the home of the Giga Coaster. Although I don't know if we can fit a Giga Coaster in this space. So maybe what's going to happen is after we're kind of mostly done with this, we'll come over here and try to build a Giga Coaster and just see if we can fit it in here at all. And if we can't, then we'll do the Giga Coaster over here, and we'll just readjust how big the Western themed area is going to be. But I think I want the Giga Coaster over here, and if we do that little Ice Village, Santa Snow, festive scenery thing, I'm thinking that'll be over here. Kind of a thought. That's far ahead, though. I mean, we're on episode like 35 or something. That'll probably be episode, I don't know, 258. Who knows? All right. Let's roughen this up a little bit. Okay. And we'll just make this look kind of like a mountain when we come back in here. Kind of want to pull a little bit over here. And let's just do a little bit more roughen. Okay, now on this side. Not as much. Brush seems awfully big, doesn't it? Okay. And I definitely want to, what happened over here? I definitely want to, like, deform the terrain over here a little bit. And let's see, let's, shrink it down. Flatten the surface, okay. Let's smooth this just a little bit. Okay, I got to come back in here and work on what this stuff is going to look like. I'm not exactly sure, because this is going to tie in somehow with what's going on over here. And I don't know, maybe we could do like a little stone walkway. Yeah, like this was an archway right here, and this whole thing is enclosed off, and we got that skull rock, you know, somewhere in here, and they go by it, and there's like a little campfire and some drums that go bunga 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 bunga, you know, something like that. All right, let's see what else we're gonna do over here. All right, now that we got this stuff figured out, let's, if we can select them. Sorry, buddy, into the great black void you go. And let's do the paths. Let's connect those up. Okay, so we need to come back just a little bit. Hold down, no, a little bit more. Okay, so turn off the angle snap. Okay, so this path is going to veer off and go along this way, and it's not going to be perfectly straight. And we're going to kind of curve it around this way. And it'll go off like that. Okay, come on. Camera's moving awfully slow. Okay, now we'll come over here. And so these ones, as soon as we delete that, we can get a support there, yeah. Okay, so this one is going to come this way and kind of veer more towards whatever this scenery is going to be. And you know, I want it to Okay, hold on. Let's think about this just a little bit. I was going to say maybe I wanted to raise the terrain here just a little bit, because from down here, well, I don't know. That looks kind of intimidating, but from right here, you know, I kind of want them to be like this high, because right here is really kind of cool, right? Yeah, I think we do. I think we want them to be up just a little bit. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to pull the terrain up. Not very high. Just oh, I don't know about there. And let's see. Now we'll flatten. And we'll just let that cover up. Not going to matter. Okay. And that'll actually give us an opportunity too to like kind of put some fencing or something along here so that people don't stumble off the path and get hurt. Okay, now let's smooth this out, and we'll do a small large brush, low intensity. Okay, come on. Higher intensity, what do we get? Okay, it's a little bit better. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, I like that. And we want to kind of bring it slowly back down to the elevation over here. So let's bump the intensity up even more. Okay. So I think that is going to work good. I think that's going to be really nice looking. Okay, so we'll come up this way. It's too long, so let's kind of... Okay, let's swing it this way more. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And now as we come back in here, we'll join it more with the other path. And then we'll let them separate just a little bit. There we go. So that's more or less what that's going to look like. Now, are we going to be able to come in here and like connect these two in the middle? I don't see anywhere we can. So I think I want to break these two apart. They're a little bit too close together inside the tunnel, and over here is where we have more clearance. We just have to move this terrain out of the way just a little bit. Okay, so we're just going to flatten and get rid of this little corner that's blocking our path. Okay, so putting this little gap in between them is going to help us join these together inside here. And you'll see what that'll look like in just a moment. Okay. So now if we come here, let's see, Z. Okay. So holding down Z gave us a better shape. So now we can connect these up, right? And so they can be joined as they come through here. And I don't know, let's do it here. And then we need to okay, I don't want to do too much with these on this side. All right, that was too much. There we go. Keeping them about the same distance apart. And then you can go through here every few segments, and you can draw it across like that. Okay, and then that allows people to move from one path to the other path. I don't like how it got a little extra wide right here, so we might go through and fix this later. I'm happy with how it looks over here, so I think we'll probably be keeping that for probably the remainder of the park. And let's see what we got going on down here. We're doing okay. Let's look at our research. I'm sure this thing is done. A bar guest. There's still more research. Oh my goodness. All in one. And let's look at the staff. We still have our mechanic. Everybody's got a normal workload. What are the shops doing? They're all making money except for the pizza shop. So who cares? We're doing good. And let's just go down here and look at this from like their point of view as they walk by, right? So they're about this tall. So isn't that cool? That just looks so neat. And then you get this view of the coaster right there. Although they may not be able to see it once we fill in the scenery. And from over here, we put some trees and stuff, and it's just going to look really cool. It's going to look really, really, really cool. All right. Let's get the start on a building that we can duplicate for terrain. And so to do that, we're going to come over here and let's make a building. And we want it to be a building, so we have to put down a building piece that rests on the grid. And I think a column is a good candidate for that. So if we just get this little 2-meter beam, are there any others that are real small? Oh, we got a 1-meter post. That's perfect, right? So we got this 1-meter post. Now we can go over to scenery, and let's see. We want tropical, nature region. We want tropical. I don't think we want deciduous. What kind of stuff do we get with deciduous? Is that where we get the poplar? Yeah, I don't know that we want that. The park. Let's focus on just the trees. Okay, let's get rid of the trees. So actually, let's do it this way. Okay, so there's our building. Let's just do what we always do, right? Let's lay our scenery out here. Figure out what our different trees are. And figure out where in the park, you know, they make the most sense. This swamp tree, okay? Actually, you know, I'm going to put the swamp tree over here like this. Okay, so that's tropical, huh? That's what they think. Okay, now the ash tree. The Crimson King is really neat, but I don't really see that being in a tropical area, nor these ones. These are the kind of trees that we had like in between my houses growing up, and they used to get a bazillion spider webs in them. And let's see. The park trees, what do we got? We got a birch. We want to see which of these trees would be fitting, not the maple tree, in a tropical environment. I don't know about that one. Maybe not these. Oh, no. These are the ones that used to be in between my house growing up. If you have these anywhere around your house, there are about 10 million spiders in them. And you know what I'm talking about. All right, let's see. The desert trees. Maybe the smaller dead trees, like this, maybe. Certainly not the Joshua tree, but the rest of these, no, we're not going to mess with those. Okay. The Acadia. Now this, no, this is not tropical. This to me is like plains, Africa. Let's see, what are these? Marula. Yeah, I'm not seeing any of those in a tropical environment, so let's just go ahead and get rid of all those. And the Arctic trees, certainly not. Okay, so which trees are we going to include in our tropical region? So let's go ahead, let's duplicate this thing, and let's set it over there. And let's see. Now, these ones are going to be more common along the shoreline. These 4 right here, I think, could fit inside the tropical area as long as we get good bushes on the, or good small trees, good ground cover in between them. I think they'll work. These ones over here, I don't really see any of these. What are these? Sycamore? Yeah, I don't really see those visually. And these are kind of too big too. Now, these ash trees, I don't know if ash trees grow in tropical regions. I don't think they do. But, you know, just aesthetically, I could kind of see them being in the midst of all these trees with some of this stuff on the ground in between them. Just spread them out a little bit. So we might use these two. These two, not this one down here. Okay. So those, you know, these trees, they work well. And this one right here, this one actually I could see a little bit spread throughout, but not too much. This one looks more like something that would be planted near the shops and boutiques and stuff like that. This looks more like something that's actively maintained by park personnel because it's got nice flowers and it's cut into a nice little circle. Let's look at the bushes, and let's see. We got tropical. We got great tropical bushes. So let's set these down. Okay. And deciduous. Yeah, I guess we could have the forest bush. I don't really see the ironwoods. And these green... Okay, the green leafy bush. Yes, I think we could have that. And sparingly, some of these. Not too many. I don't really... And maybe the red leafy bush too. But the rest of these, you know, they really look to me like something that, again, park personnel is maintaining them. Let's see. No, those aren't going to do it. The grasslands, no. Okay. So I think this, more or less, is our vegetation for this tropical area. And really quick now, because the episode's getting along, I'm going to show you how we're going to be doing it, and then we'll make a few of them in the next episode, and then we'll be placing them around. So the idea here is we got this little wooden post, right? We got a 1 meter wooden post, and we take a tree, any tree, doesn't matter which tree. Let's take this tree, right? We're going to duplicate it, and let's put it on top of this post, and then just set it down, okay? So what we want is when we go to put the post down, let's go ahead and split these off from the building, and let's duplicate it and set it over there, right? So when we move this around, when we hit shift, it snaps down to where that wooden post is. So it's always going to be the correct height when we go to place it. Actually, it's undo. Okay, so now this should all be one building again. Good. All right, so let's go back over. Let's duplicate this again. Let's put it on here. And we're going to, you know, set this down to about there. And then we're going to take, let's see, I don't know, one of these. We'll duplicate it. And we're going to try to work inside of a, you know, either like a 3x3 square, or I guess this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6x6 square, okay? So if we set this one here, right? And then we grab, oh, I don't know, let's see, one of these, and we set it over here, okay? And we go down a little bit with it. And then we take some of these, and we want to start tall and get progressively smaller, because the mouse is going to follow whatever's on the ground. So we want to make sure that we got room in the ground here to get our mouse in and set these pieces, okay? Okay, so we want to just kind of make it nice and confined. Go ahead and we'll grab this one here. Okay. We can sink this down. Okay, get that down. And I'll, of course, show you what we can do when it's too crowded in here and we can't get the mouse in there anymore, right? Okay, so we take that. And then, let's see, we'll get some of the bushes. Okay, so we get some of these. Okay, so now as we put the mouse in here, it starts doing all this craziness, right? That's where the control key comes in handy. Just put it outside, hold control, and then move it in, right? And then like rotate it a little bit. Okay, now control's moving it some odd direction. I'll get it about there. Okay, and slide it in that way. Slide it in this way. That's very crowded. That might be too much. Okay, and let's see. Let's go ahead and let's grab one more. Go ahead and do this one, right? And we'll just kind of push it in here a little bit. Get around the edges. And let's see. So we want to get inside of this little area where we can really see the ground clearly, okay? So, okay, that's pretty dense brush, right? So now what happens, what we'll be doing is we make one of those and we split it off from the building. And we'll just call it like tree group A, so that as we, we'll make a few of these groups, and as we select them, we'll be able to know like which ones they kind of are. So now if we duplicate this, right? And we just set this up here, and we duplicate that one, and we duplicate that one, and we just get some like off rotations in here. And we could sink it down. And we set one over here. Let's see. I mean, and this is just with one of these, okay? We haven't even made others to use. Okay, and let's Control X, or I'm sorry, not Control X, just X. You get the fancy movement. Look at that. That's already looking so neat. Okay. I'll put it about there, hit X. Okay, we sink this down. Now we got a little problem right here, and we got some little bushes and things that we can move individually. So what we would do is we would select this, we would go into Edit Building, and we would just select a bunch of the stuff over here, hit X, and we could start moving them down and sliding them out of the pathway. And that's kind of how we're going to do it. We're going to make several of these different little clusters, and we'll be able to just like put them around over in these areas and fill this all in. So let's just go over here and like see what this looks like, right? Let's not have anything selected. And if I hit this key, does it... One of my keys turns off the interface. I don't know which one it is anymore. But look at how cool that is. It's going to be so neat as we fill in the rest of this. And you got the mountains back there. Okay, so we can see this one is too high off the ground. Okay, so we do that. This one has the same problem. And maybe we get this arrow and like move it over a little bit towards us. And that... Look at that. It makes it look like the trees and things are growing up over the... they're taking over the temple here. We can go in here and edit and pick this one. And kind of pull it back a little bit. Let's see. What's going on over here? Did it end up too high off the ground? Also, it did. Okay. So we select this one. Drop it down until some of the roots start to disappear. We can select this one. Do the same thing. Okay. And I mean, look at that. Very low effort. Come on, camera. Very low effort. And just look how cool that looks. And we're going to be doing that all in this area. We're going to do it over here. We'll probably be doing it up over here. And then this ride is going to like come out of the mountain and go through that jungle and then come back in. And we'll be doing it over here a little bit and in various other places, just kind of out and about and build up this lush tropical region. And then as the park guests move through this area, it's going to be more like Pirate Town and a little bit more civilized, for lack of a better word. So I hope you're enjoying this. Tune in for the next episode, and we'll see you next time. And have yourself a good afternoon.